would have heard of two sayings. One that says, dump the past, it's a baggage, don't carry it forward, live in the now, create new things now. And then second, that says, there's lots to learn from the past. So the question that comes up is, for the pharma brand managers of today, is there something that they can learn from the past? Is there something in the marketing in the past that can be actually even relevant today? To speak more on this subject, we have invited with us a veteran from the pharma industry, Dr. Tarvinder Singh Parmar. Dr. Parmar is the CEO and MD of Albert David India. In fact, Dr. Parmar has got over 33 years of work experience in the Indian pharma industry and has been associated with a host of Indian as well as multinational pharma brands, including Boots, Zydus Cadila, Dabur, Jubilant, before joining Albert David as the CEO and Managing Director. Dr. Parmar also has a passion for teaching and therefore is associated with a whole lot of management institutes, including Amity and Narsi Mohanji. Dr. Parmar is a regular speaker and a panel member in leading conferences, including CII and CPHI. He's a professional event anchor and a high altitude trekker. Let's get Dr. Parmar in to share his point of view on the future and the present and the past of healthcare marketing. Tony, Tarvinder, Mr. Parmar, Dr. Parmar, or Dr. Parmar, how would you like to be addressed?
Whatever you're comfortable with. Sure. I get addressed by different names, nicknames, full names, and now this new title in various groups of friends and professional settings.
Yeah, I know you as Tony, so I'm going to take the liberty of calling you Tony. But I think you are saying doctor. So Tony, you've done 2 PhDs. Talk to us about what inspired you to do them and at this age and stage.
When I look back, I still don't believe that I've done it. It just happened because I was into a lot of talk shows and panel discussions, and happened to do one in Amity, Noida, and that's where the dean and director of the Amity Business School prodded me, encouraged me, in fact pushed me, and said, when you have so much of knowledge that you can share, why don't you professionalize and officially take a title for that? And that was the start of a journey, which took me not to one, but a mirror image double doctorate.
Fantastic. And I think that's a perfect line that he's used. If you've got a lot to share, because that's the idea of even inviting you here, because you have a lot to share for our marketing folks, especially in healthcare. And I'll segue directly into the first question, Tony. You've been obviously associated with the pharma industry for about 30 years, 3 decades. What have you seen in these 30 years which have changed over time, and what are the few things that have remained the same?
I'll actually like to segment it into 3 phases of the industry in India. First is from the Indian independence, 1947 to the mid-80s. And the second phase was the mid-80s to when we actually executed and implemented the patent era, so around 2005. And then this hybrid era from 2005 onwards. So what happened in the first era, independence to 80s, is Indian capabilities obviously had been subdued during the British rule. And therefore, the MNCs ruled India. So whatever they gave primarily, that was available to us as Indian citizens.
Correct.
Then came that process versus product patent relaxation. India started actually respecting the process patent. India was always good intellectually and by chemistry. Yes. So that's when a whole lot of Indian companies mushroomed. And Indian companies also started coming into the top rankings. And I remember in the early 90s, the top 2 companies in the Indian pharma industry were Indian companies. So that's where the Indian companies started challenging the multinationals, doing reverse engineering of the chemistry. So patented products from outside within a year or 2 are reverse engineered and launched in India for the benefit of Indian patients at a far more economical price.
Correct.
That's where the Indian population benefited. Indian companies started doing well. And then came the TRIPS agreement of 1995, giving us that 10 years turnaround period. And then Indian companies, by compulsion now, rather than just re-engineering, and capability was always there, started getting into first line research. So NC research, and come 2005 and the execution and implementation of the patent regime, Indian companies could not freely launch someone else's research product.
Correct.
And that's when there was a restructuring which further happened. MNCs got a little more aggressive in launching their research products, and they suddenly realized they couldn't do it alone. And that's where evolved and emerged the new era of co-marketing. And MNC, and you probably never heard of that anywhere in the world, because I don't remember any other third world or emerging country other than maybe China, which had intrinsic pharmaceutical and chemistry capabilities where they could re-engineer so easily and effectively. So that's where the multinational and the marketing also had evolved after the mid 80s. So that's where the multinationals realized that to optimize the returns in a huge market like India, and with the policy restrictions and the capability restrictions they had to join and partner with top Indian companies.
Right.
So the new era and the new experiment of co-marketing started. I was into metabolics, and I remember, the first gliptin co-marketing started. Then you had the SGLT2s, and now you also have the oncologicals and the biological products.
Correct.
So basically, the specialty products, concept products, which also have a mass appeal in India. To take it mass, to take it wide, the Indian strength was used.
Correct.
To take it deep and sell the concept, the MNC strength was used. So this is a very synergistic and cooperative kind of an arrangement that came in. Side by side, what happened is, because of the drying out of the research projects for the Indian companies, the Indian companies started going in deep,
right,
as far as the reach was concerned. So rather than focus, and I'm talking of the top companies, so rather than just focus on metros and tier 1 cities, they also started looking at opportunities beyond these geographies into semi-urban and also rural segments. So that is a transition that took place. Another major structural change that took part and progressively evolved was, instead of just mass marketing, obviously with the qualitative improvement in everything from not only product range but also the marketing capabilities, evolved this segmentation of the market into mass markets, acute segments, mass specialty segments, and also the super specialty segments.
Right.
So that's another segmentation that evolved, especially in the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century. And now with the emergence of the biologicals and the further super specialization and finer specialization in areas of cardiology, nephrology, oncology, now you have targeted therapies. So you have task forces, super specialty forces which have come in. And like you have targeted therapy, you also have targeted marketing. So niche, super specialized, and very refined kind of marketing which is coming. So now you have space for everyone, from the mass to the super specialty and the hybrid in between. So this is something that I've seen in my 33 years.